We're live. Let me give everybody a few minutes to join. I'm so excited to be here today. This video has been on my heart for a while now, and I'm so excited to share the inner work about this with you. How to shift your identity to become that woman. And go from being a girl to a woman. This is literally the rite of passage that we just did not receive as women because maybe our mothers didn't set an example for us, nobody taught us. This is the rite of passage that women were meant to go through to shift from being a girl to understanding what it means to be a woman and to be in our divine feminine energy. So today I'm going to share how to actually make that identity shift. This is going to be short and sweet because I do have an appointment in a little bit, so I'm going to get straight into it. So I have a few journal prompts, affirmations, and an exercise for you to do. And I want to start off by saying, I feel like the biggest point I want to make is that this is a simple process, but it does not mean that it's easy. This is a simple process that you can do and embody that I'm going to share with you, but it does not mean that you will not experience setbacks, that you will just be able to do it right away as if it's natural for you. It takes time and it takes practice and embodiment and just experimenting and seeing what works for you and kind of understanding what kind of life it is that you want to lead that helps you become that best version of yourself, to become that woman. So the biggest point I want to make before I share the journal prompts, affirmations, and exercises that I have here is that shifting your identity can sometimes seem like it is a lot of effort. Being in between two different identities can seem very hard for the old identity because it's new, it's uncomfortable, it's something you haven't done before, it's not a habit. And then for the new identity, it is something that it craves. That's why you have the desire to show up differently, to show up as that woman instead of that girl. It craves that and it knows how to do it. It knows how to show up, but your old identity can sometimes make it seem difficult because it's scared. It doesn't know how to embody this new way of being. It's scared of just showing up in a different way and people perceiving us in a different way. A lot of the time the discomfort comes from showing up in front of other people differently than how we think they perceive us. Showing up in front of people and not wanting to show up differently so we can make them feel comfortable, so we can make them feel okay with who we've been. When we show up differently, when we set up boundaries, when we start showing up in a more sensual way, when we just start showing up from our soul or from our heart, sometimes the people closest to us can get uncomfortable with that because they don't know what to do with that information. They've only known you with that old identity, and they've known to identify you in that way and to interact with you in that way. And when you shift everything completely on them, they get scared and get uncomfortable. And sometimes we go along with that and we don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, and so we stay the same. So I just want you to know that this is the biggest reason that we don't want to change our identities. This is the biggest reason that we want to stay the same, to please other people. So what I'm going to share with the exercise is how changing into the identity that you want to lean more into only takes a few minutes to envision. What is it? How would you speak? How is that version of you interacting with people? How is she eating? How is she moving? What kind of thoughts is she having? What kind of emotions is she feeling daily? What kind of activities does she invest time in? As soon as you think of those things, I love Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he talks so much about quantum physics and how multiple realities can exist at the same time. Multiple realities, versions of you exist at the same time. And the reason you have a certain desire on your heart to be that woman, to be a certain version of yourself, to be your best self, is because that exists in another reality, and you can draw that to you in the present moment. You can draw that to you right now by making different choices, by showing up a different way, by speaking a different way, by interacting with other people a different way, by investing your energy differently. What is it that version of you that you want has or is doing differently that you're not doing now? That's literally all you have to know. Once you can envision that version of yourself, what is she doing daily? How does she speak? How is she showing up in relationships? How is she embodying her feminine energy? What is it that she's doing differently than you? Once you know that, you can literally set these things to become habits that you take a part in every day. You can set them as habits, and I say habits, and I talk a lot about habits on this channel because a lot of the time when we do inner work, in the beginning it doesn't feel easy and it takes effort. That old identity does not want to put in that much effort. It just wants to stay comfortable and wants to stay in the same place. So that's why I say turn it into a habit, turn it into something you can do every single day to start embodying that version of yourself, to become that woman. What is it that you can do differently? And I cannot answer this for you because I don't really know what it is that you want. Only you know that. Only your soul knows what it craves and what it wants. So I'm going to give you the exercise. So I have 15 more minutes. I have to go in a little bit, but let me go through the exercise real quick, and then I'll give you some journal prompts and affirmations. And so the exercise I have here is, so grab a piece of paper and pen, make two lines, so you have 3 columns. And from the left, right, how I am showing up at the top. And then in the middle one, right, how I want to show up. And in the next column, the last one, right, what do I need to do daily to show up this new way, to show up differently? What is it that you need to do every single day to show up differently? And then start filling up underneath all of these. What is it? How are you showing up now? What is the thing that you wished were different? What is the thing that you want to change? What is the way that you're no longer available showing up as or showing up in? And then in the next one, you can say, how is that when you sit down and you envision that version of yourself where she is that woman, she is showing up authentically, she is happy, she is passionate about what she is doing, she is speaking in a certain way that just lights you up, it just excites you to think about. How is she showing up differently from how you're showing up now? In what ways are you showing up and dimming yourself down to make other people around you comfortable? In what ways are you doing that? And how can you change that to become that version of yourself that is just so magnetic and passionate and excited and authentic? How can you show up differently? And then what is it that she's doing? Once you figure out what she's doing differently, set ways of how you're going to, habits that you set every day for yourself. Like, let's say right now you don't take care of your body, you don't move your body, you don't eat healthy foods, you're just feeling stuck and you feel like you cannot, sorry, my throat is getting a little dry. Let me drink some water. So, what was I saying? So if you were to think about that version of you, of how she's showing up now, with not being able to eat healthy or move your body every day, like let's say that's something that you want to do, and the version of yourself who is showing up radiant and magnetic, and she loves taking care of her body, she loves moving her body, she just shows up and does it. What are the habits every day that she has for herself? What is it that she does every day to feel this way, to show up this way? What is it that she's doing differently? Maybe she has a nighttime routine and a morning routine that just help her wind down and kind of set intentions for the beginning of days, and that helps her be in a different mindset to be able to take care of her body. Maybe she sets affirmations every day for herself, and she takes care of her body in that way by speaking in a compassionate and understanding and life-giving way to herself that just makes her excited to live and to take care of her body. Maybe she has a routine of, like, let's say walking at least 10 minutes a day. I know that's so short, but like that you can literally start out with as little as 5 minutes. Any habit, any way to start embodying this version of yourself that you want to become. There is nothing too small, nothing too big. Just start with something and then go from there and expand on that. But what is it that you're doing every day? Like, how is that version of yourself speaking? Like, what is it that you have to do in this present moment to bring that dream version of yourself, that being that woman, how can you bring that into the present moment to yourself? Because that's all that exists, the present moment and the actions that you take in the present moment. And so once you figure out what you need to do every day, set those habits in at certain times, and set like how long you will do it for, where will you do it. So, I don't remember if I said, I think how long you will do it for, how often you will do it. And once you set those habits for yourself, you start to embody that version through your habits. It just becomes easier, and you can expand more on that as you go. But as you start to follow through on these habits, you just start to become that woman naturally through your daily choices, by making this a habit and following through on it every single day. So that is the exercise that I had. And some journal prompts I have here is, in what ways am I letting my soul down to please others? So I want you to journal on this. In what ways are you not showing up truly, fully, and authentically as yourself to make others happy and comfortable? How are you letting your soul down? What is it that you're maybe afraid of pursuing because of what other people will think of you? What way are you afraid of showing up because you feel like other people might judge you for it? And the next one I have is, how is the new version, identity of me, showing up? What is she doing differently? And this is kind of related to the exercise that we just did. That will help you reflect on that more. And then the last journal prompt that I have is, when I close my eyes and picture the most badass, sensual, authentic version of myself, how does she talk, walk, eat, think, invest her money, engage with others, and believe? How does she feel on a daily basis? What is she doing differently? And then the affirmations that I have for you are, when you feel that it is hard to shift into that new identity, and you're literally have like, when you are, once you reflect on this, you will know what it is how you need to show up differently. It's in the little things, such as changing your tone when speaking with someone. That was an example. When you see that and you're aware, In the moment, you get a choice to make a decision. You have a little, like a small window where you get to choose to respond differently. You can respond the same way as the old identity would have normally responded and get the same results as you've been getting. Or you can respond in the way you know this other version of you that you want to draw to yourself would respond. And if you do that consistently, doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be every single time, but the more you do that, the more you embody that new identity, the easier it becomes, and the more you shift into that new identity and you just become more confident in it, and it becomes easier. It's not always going to feel hard, but in the beginning, when you're in between the two and you're constantly having to put your willpower and conscious effort into it, it will feel hard for the old identity. But as you do this with different choices and things that come up in life, it just becomes easier, and it doesn't have to be hard work. It can just be as simple as making a decision. I get to show up. So this is the affirmation I have. I get to be the best version of myself. So when you are in that moment where let's say you're faced with a choice of like acting in a way where you say, let's say the example that I gave of wanting to feel good in your body and to have the body of your dreams and work out and move every day and nourish your body, you get a choice between sitting and scrolling on your phone or going out for a walk, going for a workout, dancing. In that moment, in that small window where it comes up in your mind to make the decision, you can choose either identity. And in the beginning, it feels hard, but it doesn't have to feel hard. In that moment, you can affirm to yourself, I get to be the best version of myself, and choose the action that aligns with that. You don't have to keep choosing the same things over and over again, because if you do, you're going to keep getting the same result. So that is the first affirmation I have. And the second affirmation is, I attract all my desires to me. And this is why I say you don't have to work hard for it. You can attract everything you want to you by just shifting your daily actions and your daily choices and how you show up. So that is everything that I have for you today. I hope that you found this helpful, and if you like this video and want to see more, please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.